very much interested in learning digital marketing course for a very long period of time, but I don't get a proper platform. So later for my college, I get to know about XLR and I enroll in XLR course. It was really good experience. Our course has been taken by Mayur sir, and he was very good teacher. He not only focusing on theory part, he is doing how real digital marketing works, and it was in total very good experience. I get so much of knowledge here. They're not only focusing on study, they are also conducting different exam to test our knowledge, and as we are giving the exam, so to appreciate our work, they give certificates for the toppers, and along with the certificate they give hampers. Thank you, XLR.
Recently, I was searching for digital marketing courses online in Google, and I came across XLR and I attended a digital marketing course which was for 15 days. My mentor Mayur helped me for attending these classes. So he is a very informative and helpful guy. In the course end, there is a exam which I topped. So I came to the XLR office in Bengaluru. This digital marketing course has helped my career and my skills to develop, and the certificate has helped my company to join. Thank you, XLR.
I came to know about this course from my college. Actually, for learning platform, this is very nice, and I learned from here ChatGPT and AI from online. Because he's teaching for me for AI generative and ChatGPT. We are using this technology in more. And after finishing the courses, I came from for collecting the certificate. I seen the classrooms and faculties. Classroom is very nice. After the completion of exam, they will give gift and certificates. Thank you, XLR, for giving these courses. I learned lot of from this. I gained the more knowledge from here, and thank you for XL for teaching us.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So I hope all are doing good. Yeah, I'm not getting any responses. So please inform your friends to join early. So we'll start the session, okay? So I got only few more video testimonials. So tomorrow is the last day. So I'm extending one day. Tomorrow is the last day. Please send those video testimonials by tomorrow EOD, okay? End of the day. Guys, any more questions? So let me know in the chat box. I will try to address it. No questions? Okay, great. Vamshi, you didn't get any form? Okay, fine. I will share the form. Okay. Okay, fine. Now we'll move to the class. So last 10 minutes, I'm going to take your questions. And today we have a quiz also. Okay. Good evening, ma'am. 17th, we had a college. So there any other chance to attend the exam? So for 1 hour, you people please make a time for the exam and you can attend, no? So we already scheduled it, so we can't able to change now. Okay, fine. I will take up your questions last 10 minutes. So now we'll go to the class, okay? Yeah. Elumalai, over to you. You can take up the class.
Thank you, Chandra.
Yeah, ma'am, tomorrow is the last day. No, we have up to April first week.
Good evening, everyone. I've shared a PPT. Okay, good. In this session, we are going to discuss data sufficiency, right? If you ask me which is the easiest topic, then I will tell you this one, data sufficiency. But if you ask most of the candidates, then they will say data sufficiency is very difficult one. Why is it so easy? Right, because you need not to solve the question, you need not to find the exact correct answer. You just tell them whether the given information is sufficient to solve the question or not. That's it. I hope you can understand the difference. Actually, if you have a question in any other topic, you need to solve the question and find the exact correct answer, isn't it? But in this session, you need not to find the exact correct answer, whether the given information is sufficient to answer the question or not. Right. So that's why I told you this is very easiest topic. Right. Okay. Next one. Why is it so difficult? For example, you may be knowing one way of solving the question. Right. In case if you do not aware of the second way of solving the question, then obviously your answer will be wrong. Right. We will discuss one by one. You will easily understand that. Right. Okay. Now we'll go to concepts. Uh, okay. Now you can make note of this options. You can make note of this option. Option A, if the data is in the statement 1 alone are sufficient to answer the question, whereas the data in the statement 2 alone are not sufficient to answer the question, at the time you need to choose option A as the correct answer. Right. They will give you a question followed by two statements. Right. Then you need to decide whether the statement 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question or not. Right. If statement 1 or data in the statement 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question, whereas for statement 2 alone is not sufficient to answer the question, then you should go for the option A. Right. Sometimes 1 alone will not be sufficient, but 2 alone will be sufficient. Right. Then you should go for option B. Do you understand this? Yes. Now, sometimes data in statement 1 alone is sufficient and 2 alone is also sufficient. At the time, data in either 1 or 2 alone is sufficient to answer the question. So at that time, you need to go for the option C. Right. Yes. Now, data given in both the statements 1 and together are not sufficient to answer the question. Right. Listen, sometimes half of the data will be in option first statement, and there's some remaining option data will be in the next statement. So individually, they will not be sufficient to answer the question. But if you put together both the options, then you can solve the question. In case if it is the situation, then you need to go for option E, right? Even if you put together, it is not sufficient to answer the question. At the time, you should go for option D, right? Do you have any doubts in these options? You can make note of these options. Now you will have questions only, right? You will have questions only like this, right? You will not have any of the options given here, right? So you can make note of these options. I give you 30 seconds. You can make note of these options. Have you all noted? You can post yes, so that we can go to next problem solving. Good. Only 3 of you have responded. Okay. Actually, I gave you this. Yeah, sure. Actually, we will be discussing all the questions with example. Right. Now, you just understand this. For example, statement 1 alone is sufficient. Statement 2 alone is not sufficient to answer the question. Right. If you want to have example, we have in next upcoming slides. Right. I will explain in detail. Right. Now you can understand these options, right? Where when you need to go for option A, where you need to select option B, where you need to select option C, option D, option E, respectively. I hope you can understand that. Yes, right. Actually, for all the situations we have questions, right? I will explain. Okay, now I go to the questions. Vipin and Jovit's salaries are in the ratio 4:3 respectively. What is Vipin's salary? Right. Okay, the statement is Javit's salary is 75% of Vipin's salary is the first statement. Second statement, Javit's salary is 45,000. Now you find which are the statements statements are sufficient to answer the question? Remember, you need not to find what is Vipin salary. I hope you can understand this. I don't ask you what is Vipin salary, whether this question can be answered with or not, or two alone or not, or either one or two, or even if you put together you can solve. Sometimes even if you put together you cannot solve. Right? One of these can be the 5 options. Then you can choose your answer. Yes, all the questions will be having 5 options like this. No. No. Right. Okay, I explain this. Very good. One of you have answered correctly. I explain this once again. Right. First, I explain this question. Then you can answer the remaining questions here. Right. Okay, see here. Vipin and Javed salary are 4 is in the ratio 4 is to 3. Right. Yes, respectively. What is Vipin salary? Right. See, if the data are in the ratio 4 is to 3, then Javed's salary is 75% of Vipin's salary. That is the same statement given in this question. Am I correct or not? Yes. So if you consider this as 100%, 4 part is 100%, then this 3 part will be 75%, isn't it? So here the statement 1 is redundant data of the first one, given information. So 1 alone is not sufficient to answer the question. I hope you can understand this. Okay. Next one, Jav's salary is 4,500 rupees. Right. If Jav's salary is 4,500 rupees, which means that 3 part is 4,500, then 4 part is you can calculate. Right. Actually, answer will be 6,000. You need not to find the answer. Right. See, again, I'm explaining you. You need not to find the answer. You just answer whether it is the statement is sufficient to answer the question or not. Yes. So 1 alone is not sufficient, but 2 alone is sufficient. Right. Now, which option you will choose? Again, I go to the first slide. 2 alone, the data in 2 alone are sufficient to answer the question, while data in statement 1 alone are not sufficient to answer the question. So option B is the answer. I hope you can understand this. You can post yes or no. Even if you have doubt, you can ask me to repeat. I will repeat. Good. Okay. Now we'll go to second question. So option B is the answer here. Right. Next question. What is the code for sky in the code language? Right. See, data sufficiency questions can be from any of the topic. That can be logical reasoning, quantitative aptitude, whatever it is, right? Data sufficiency will be from any of the topic, right? This question is from coding and decoding. Now answer this question. What is the code for the word sky? That's it. No. Right. Already you would have learned this coding decoding, right? In that they would have explained you how to find code for the corresponding words, right? For example, sky is clear. It does not mean that the sky, for the word sky, the code is DE, is RA, clear FA. It is not meaning like this, right? So here the meaning is different, right? So any code can be the word for anything, right? So here any code can be the correspond can have any corresponding words. Sky can be RA, sky can be FA, sky can be DE, right? So here you cannot take it directly. Yes, very good. Then how will you do this? Then you need to search for the common word and common codes. See, in first statement and the second statement, if you compare these two, right? Here clear is common in both the terms, isn't it? So clear, here clear. Yes. So we have clear in both the statements. So the corresponding common code is DE, right? So the common code is DE, common word is clear. So we can say DE is the code for the word clear, right? Then nothing else is common, right? Listen, you can answer in any way, actually two ways, right? You can answer the question in two ways. One is you can find the exact code for the corresponding word. The second one is you can eliminate all the remaining words from the in the statement. For example, if you can find the code for the word is, then you will eliminate clear and is, and the rest one will be the code for the word sky. Am I correct or not? Yes, but here in this word, yes. So here in this statement, we do not know the code for the word sky as well as is. So that can be anything for, yeah, that can have anything as code, right? So here one alone is not sufficient, two alone is not sufficient. Even if you put together both the statements, it is not sufficient, right? Sorry, right. Now, in case if one alone is sufficient as well as two alone is also sufficient, at that time you can go for either or, isn't it? But here, even if you put together both the statements, you cannot answer the question. So what will be the option to this? No. Good. Neither one, not two sufficient. Actually, I asked you to note down the options, right? I again show you the options. You please note down. Then only you can answer all these questions. Right. You can make note of this. Here, neither nor is not an option. Right. Even if you put together both the statements, then you cannot answer the question at the time. Option E can be the answer. Sorry, D can be the answer. I hope you can understand this. If the data in both the statements one and together are necessary to answer the question, then option E is the answer. But here, even if you put together both the statements, you cannot answer the question. So Option D is the answer to this question. I hope you can understand this. Have we noted the options here? Good. Then I show you the next question. So option D is the answer here. Right. Okay, next question. How many gift boxes were sold on Monday? Right. I didn't find the answer to this. It was 10% more than the boxes sold on the earlier day, that is Sunday. Right. That is the first statement. The second one, every third visitor to the shop purchased the box and 1,500 visitors were there on Sunday. Right. Here, both the statement refers Sunday data, isn't it? Answer for Sunday. But my question is answer for Monday. Can you calculate this from these statements? Now you can post your answers. Good. Then which option is correct? Very good. Very good. Very good. No. No. Very good. Right. See, I can explain this here. It was 10% more the boxes sold on the earlier day, Sunday. So here, if you know the value on Sunday, then you can have the value of Monday. Right. Yes. So you can have only this information from the first statement. Very good. Right. Then the second one, every third visitor to the shop purchased the box and 1,500 visitors were on Sunday. Right. So here, every third one would have got this one. So you can have 500 as the answer, but it is on Sunday. So if you refer only statement 2, here you can have the total number of customers purchased on Sunday. Right. But with the statement 2 alone, you cannot complete the compute the value for Monday. Right. So 1 alone is not sufficient. 2 alone is not sufficient. Right. If either one of the statement is not sufficient, then option C will never be the answer. Remember this. So either statement 1 or 2, which means that both for 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question, or 2 alone is sufficient to answer the question. If 1 fails, obviously option C will be removed from the options. Right, possibilities. Now, when you look at this, right, if you put together both the statements, then it is very simple. We have found Sunday is of 500, Monday will be 10% more than that, right? You need not to find the exact answer here. We don't want the numbers here, right? Actually, some of you have found the answer. Good. Some of you have found the answer, but it is not necessary in the case of exams, right? In exams, you never try to find the answer, right? 500, then 10% more, which is 550. Like this, not necessary. Whether the information is sufficient to answer the question or not. That only you need to decide. That's it. Right. So here, both put together are necessary to answer the question. So option, which option you will choose? Very good. Okay. Weightage of the topic. See, here, I can say maximum weightage will be in data sufficiency, directions, blood relations, then coding, decoding, syllogism, right? All this will have maximum weightages, right? You cannot skip anything in exams. That is the point here, right? You don't try to skip any of the topic here, right? All the topics will be very easy to you to understand, right? But do not skip anything anyway. So option E, both 1 and together are necessary to answer the question, right? I hope you can understand this. Now we can answer to this question. City M is situated in which direction with respect to D? Right. City K is to the south of P. City M is to the north of R, which is to the west of city D. Right. Good. Good. Very good. Okay. See, maximum of you have answered it correctly. Yeah, very good. Right. But some of you are answering some other answer. Right. I explained this. See, we need to find which city M is situated in which direction with respect to D, isn't it? So we need to know the position of M and D in this statement, right? When you come to the first statement, here M is not there as well as D is not there, isn't it? So there is no information on M and D. So one alone is not sufficient. So if you eliminate one option, then you can eliminate option C also. Right. Yes. Now we have three possibilities. Either two alone is sufficient or put together is sufficient. Even put together is not sufficient. Right. When you come to the second one, city M is to the north of city R. Right. So we know M, we know R, which is to the west of D. Yes. So here I have city M as well as city D. Isn't it? Yes. So if they have given you the common variable with any reference, right, that can be easily plotted in the directions diagram, isn't it? Yes. So in this situation, two alone is sufficient, whereas one alone is not sufficient. So what will be the answer to this question? Good. I hope you can understand this. Right. Very good. Now, next questions to you. How many sons does P have? T and S are brothers of R. The mother of S is the wife of R's father. Right. Okay. Okay. See, you need not to type it as both, neither, or right. You can post your answer as A, B, C, D, E. One of these can be the answer, right? You just post one letter, that's it. Okay, good. Okay, let me explain this. See, how many sons does B have? P have, right? So they have given that T and S are brothers. So which means that you know the gender of T and S, right? T and S are brothers of R, right? Now you know the gender of T as well as S, but you do not know the gender of R in this place, isn't it? Yes. When you come to the second one, the mother of yes is wife of R's father, right? So here, mother of yes, right, is wife of R's father, which means that yes mother and R's father will be common parent to all the three, isn't it? Yes. Now we need to find how many sons does we have, right? So we know two person gender. We do not know the third person gender here. Am I correct or not? So one alone is not sufficient. Two alone is not sufficient. Even if you put together both the statements, right? Since we do not know the gender of all, this cannot be answered as either 3 or 2. I hope you can understand this. So option D is the answer here. Very good. Maximum of you have answered the question except 1 or 2. Right. Now you can understand this, right? Good. Next question. How many children are there between P and Q in a row of children? Right. How will you do this? How many children are there between P and Q in a row of children? P is 15th from the left end. Q is exactly in the middle. And there are 10 children towards his right. Good. In last class, we would have discussed this, right? Yes. So P is 15th from the left end of the row, right? So I know position of P here, that is 15th from left end, right? So if P is here, he is 15th from the left end, right? Yes. Now, with this statement, you cannot answer this question. Yes or no? With this statement, you cannot answer this question. Because you do not know what is the total number of person, what is the position of Q, right? So here with this statement, you cannot answer the question. If you take, good. If you take 2 alone, Q is exactly in the middle, right? So Q is exactly in the middle and there are 10 children towards his right, right? So if somewhere is Q here, right? So if Q is here, right, then he is in the exact middle at the time. Towards his right, 10 persons are there, right? So if it is 10, then this will be 10, right? So left and right, both the sides, he will be having 10 members since he is in middle, right? So there are 21 person in the row, right? So from the statement 2, you can identify the total number of person and the number of persons in Q position, that is in the middle, that is 11th one, right? 11th one from left and is 11th one from the right. But here also you do not know P's position if you refer only to alone, right? So here 2 alone is also not sufficient to answer the question, right? So individually they are not sufficient to answer the question. I hope you can understand this. But if you put together both the statements, I know the position of P from left and position of Q from left and right also, right? At that time, I can find the number of persons between P and Q, right? Then the answer can be calculated, right? It can be any answer, but I don't bother about the answer, right? I need to tell whether this data is sufficient or not. That's it. I hope you can understand this. So option E, right. If you put together both the statements, it is sufficient to answer the question. I hope you can understand this. Good. Okay, next question. Among A, B, C, D, E, who is in the middle while standing in a row? Right. So this question is based on data arrangement, seating arrangements. Already we discussed, right? Yes. C, who is third to the left of D, is to the immediate right of A, and second to the left of E. Right. This is the first statement. Then second one. C is second to the left of E, who is not at any of the ends, and who is third to the right of A. D is at one of the ends. Then, right. You find answer to this question? Okay. Listen, here if you want to answer this question, only one have answered. Why? Okay, it may take some time, isn't it? Yes. See, if you understand this logically, you can easily answer this question. Very good. One of you have answered it correctly. We know that in order to arrange 5 persons in a room, right? How many persons you need to arrange? Very good. Very good. Okay, good. See, in case if there are 5 persons in a row in the arrangement, how many data you need to arrange? Right. So we all know that 5 positions will be, 5 fixed positions will be there, right? In this case, if you arrange any 4 person, that can be either this one or this one or this one or this one, right? If you arrange only 4, then one person will be remaining, one position will be remaining, automatically he will go to that position, isn't it? Yes. I hope you can understand this concept. Yes. So if you have four options, that is four persons arrangement, then the five persons can be arranged. Right. Yes. So the answer here is, here four persons can be arranged. Here also the four persons can be arranged. Right. Option C is the answer here. I hope you can understand this. Either statement one alone is sufficient or two alone is sufficient. Very good. Towards which direction is Q from R? Very good. Maximum of you have found the correct answer. Very good. Very good. Great. No. Two of you are not answering correctly. No. Okay, explain this. Right. See, towards which direction is Q from R? That is the question. Right. So here, right, you know the position of Q with respect to M. Right. So here you know the position of Q with respect to M. Right. If you go to the second one, you know the position of M with respect to R. Right. So if you take one alone, that is not sufficient because R is not there. If you take two alone, that is not sufficient because Q is not there. Right. So if you put together both the statements together, right, at the time, you know the position of Q and the position of M and the position of R. Right. So in this case, you can find what will be the direction from R to Q. That's it. So both the statements are required to answer the question. So you will go for the option E. I hope you can understand this. Now, next question. Very good. On which day of the week did Sohan visit Chennai? Sohan returned to Hyderabad from Chennai on Thursday. Sohan left Hyderabad on Monday for Chennai. Right. So here, what could be the answer here? Everyone is giving different answers. Good. Okay, I explain this. See, here, option D is the answer. Right. The reason here is, see, Sohan returned to Hyderabad from Chennai on Tuesday. Right. Here, we do not know the distance from Hyderabad to Chennai or the mode of transportation from Hyderabad to Chennai, isn't it? So if it is a flight, he can reach in some hours. If it is bus, it may take some more hours, right? Sometimes it can be some days also possible, right? If it is two-wheelers, he could have stayed somewhere, right? So every mode of transportation will make the answer is different. Since we do not know the distance between both the cities, then I cannot say one as the correct option, right? So if one is removed, also the C option C will be removed. Either will also will be removed. Right. Then if you come to the second one, Sohan left Hyderabad on Monday. Here also we do not know the distance between two cities and mode of transportation, how much hours it will take to reach the position, another city. Right. So two alone is also not sufficient. Right. In this case, the answer is, even if you put together both the statements, it is not sufficient to answer the question. That's it. I hope you can understand this. Any doubts? Good. Very good. Yes, you can answer this. Who among PQ or ST is the heaviest? Right. Similar question we have discussed yesterday. You try to find the answer. Q is heavier than R and T, but lighter than S. In this case, among these four persons, S is heaviest. Right. Among Q, R, S, T, S is the heaviest so far, isn't it? But I do not know about P here. Right. So one alone is not sufficient to answer the question. Right. When you come to the second one, R is third from the top when they are arranged in descending order of their weight, and P is heavier than, sorry, order, and their weight is heavier than T and P. Right. So here only we can arrange only these two persons, these three persons. So I do not know the remaining two. Right. But if you put together both the statements at the time, you could have identified the answer, isn't it? So one alone is not sufficient as well as two alone is not sufficient. So if you put together both the statements, so for S is greater than all the four, since R is third from the top when they are arranged in descending order of their height, weight, and is heavier than T and P. Since R is heavier than T and P, and S will be greater than everyone here, right? So the heaviest person in among all the five will be yes, right? Again, I'm telling you, you need not to find the answer here. You just tell me which of the which of the statements are sufficient to answer the question. I hope you can understand this. Good. Next question. What will be the total weight of 10 poles, each of them same weight? Right. Statement 1. 1/4 of the weight of each pole is 5 kg. Statement 2. The total weight of 3 poles is 20 kilograms more than the total weight of 2 poles. If you are good at computations, you could have answered the question in some seconds. You find answer to this? No? Good. Very good. No? 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 See, as I told you, you need not to type the whole statements like both are sufficient, both are not sufficient, neither one nor two, right? We just put the options. If anyone wants to see the options, then I can show you it again. You can note down, then you can answer the questions, right? In the first slide itself, I showed you the answers, right? Which are the options? If these are the options, you can go with option A, option B, option C, option D, option E, isn't it? If anyone wants to know the options, you can ask me, sir, show me the options. Good. Okay, just give you the options here, right? Then we will discuss that. You can make note of these options. Statement data in the statement 1 alone is sufficient, but 2 alone is not sufficient, option A. 2 alone is sufficient, 1 alone is not sufficient, option B. Either 1 or 2 is sufficient, option C. Right. Both 1 and together are not sufficient, option D. If you put together both the statement, it is sufficient, then option E. Right. Have we noted this? Have we noted the options? Okay, I'll show you the answer. Right. Yes. See, when you look at this, what will be the total weight of 10 poles if each of them are same weight? So I know that if one pole weight is this one, then 10 pole weight will be 10 times of the same weight, isn't it? Yes. So here you can calculate if you know the weight of one pole, right? So here in the first statement, 1/4 of the weight of each pole is 5 kilogram. From the statement, you can find the total weight of one pole. Then if you multiply that by 10, you can have the answer, isn't it? So one alone is sufficient to answer the question. If you come to the second one, the total weight of 3 poles is 20 kilograms more than the total weight of 2 poles. That is 3 poles minus 2 poles, that difference is 20. So you can find that the one weight of the pole is 20, right? So if you can calculate one, if you know one pole's weight, then you can find the total weight of 10, isn't it? So one alone is sufficient as well as 2 alone is also sufficient. So either 1 or 2, the data in either 1 or 2 is sufficient to answer the question. That's it. I hope you can understand this. Good. Now you can find answer to this. How many visitors saw the exhibition yesterday? Each entry pass holder can take up 3 persons with him or her. In all, 243 passes were sold yesterday. Right. Okay. No. See, this is why I told you data sufficiency is difficult for the candidates who are not good in concepts. Right. Very good. Only two have answered correctly so far. Right. Here, each entry pass holder can take up to 3 persons with him or her. Right. So in all, 243 passes were sold yesterday. Right. So if you look at the first one, you can say it is wrong because we do not know how many persons, how many entry passes were there. Right. So that is not true. Right. If you come to the second one, in all 243 passes were sold yesterday. Right. So if you select the second one also, that is not sufficient because one entry process can allow how many person? I do not know this. Right. So one alone is not sufficient to answer the question, as well as two alone is not sufficient to answer the question. Right. Good. Now, if you put together both the statements, 243 passes were sold and each entry pass holder can take up to 3 persons, which means that one entry pass allows maximum 4 persons, which means that they could have come as 4 or 3 or 2 persons or let's say a person, single person, isn't it? I do not know the exact number in between these 4 options, right? Then I cannot conclude this is the number of person. Am I correct or not? So even if you put together both the statements, that will not be sufficient to answer the question. Right. Option D is the correct answer. Actually, only 4 of you have answered it correctly. Now 5. Right? I hope you can understand this. Yes. Listen, data sufficiency, if you are good in this, then GRE, GMAT exams will be very easy to you. Right. Maximum questions will be based on this data sufficiency there. Right. Okay, now you can answer this question. What is the value of x? If x square is equal to 4, that is the first one. X is less than 0, that is second one. So for only one have answered correctly. So for 4 of you have answered correctly. Okay. See, the question seems to be very easy, right? but we have a twist here, right? So here x square is equal to 4, right? What is the x value here? The possible x values are both -2. It can be either -2 or +2, isn't it? So it is either +2 or -2, isn't it? Yes. So here you cannot have one value for the for x here, right? Here, so this one alone is not sufficient to answer the question. When you come to the second one, x is less than 0, right? So here it can be any negative value. X can be any negative value. So here it can be -1, -2, -3, and -4 up to it can have any number, right? So here this one is also not sufficient. But if you put together, right, either +2 or -2, but the answer is negative, then you can go with option -2, isn't it? Yes. So you could have identified the answer if you put together both the statements. Am I correct or not? That is why the answer here is the data in both statements 1 and together are necessary to answer the question. I hope you can understand this. Very good. Now you can answer this question. What is the two-digit number whose first digit is A and the second digit is B? The number is greater than 9. So if it is any two-digit number, obviously it will be greater than 9, right? Which means that the first digit A should not be 0. That is what they are mentioning here. Right. Okay. So what is the answer here? Okay. No. No. Very good. One of you have answered correctly. Okay. Right. Now let's verify your answer. Right. See, here only two of you have answered correctly so far. Right. And two more persons have answered correctly, but you are not answering as A, B, C, D, E. You are answering it as only one, only two, like that. Right. You just type one letter, which is A or B or C or D or E. Any one of this letter. Right. Good. Now when you look at this, it's a two-digit number. The number must be greater than 9. So A can have any value between 1 to 9. B can have any value between 0 to 9. Right. Yes. So here the number is multiple of 51. So if you look at this, how many multiples of 51 is there within this two-digit number? So we have only one option, isn't it? So here, if the multiples of 51, if you put as the statement, then here the only one possible number will be there, that is 51. I hope you can understand this. Right. So when you look at the second one, the sum of digits of A and B is 6. Right. So if you put a 6, there are possibilities of 1, 5. Then 2, 4. Then 3, 3. Then 4, 2, 5, 1. Like that, you can have different answers, right? So here you cannot conclude this is the exact correct answer with option 2, right? Statement 2 alone is not sufficient, whereas statement 1 alone is sufficient to answer the question. So what is the answer here? Good. See, you need not to find again it as 51. You tell me whether the statement which is sufficient to answer the question. One of you have answered it as B. No. Option A is the correct answer. Do you get this now? Good. Next question. What is the two-digit number? Right. You need to find a two-digit number. Now, the difference between two digits is 9, and sum of the digits is equal to the difference between the digits. Okay. Let me show you the answer. See, in this case, option D, even if you put together both the statements, it is not sufficient. That is the correct answer, right? Actually, many of you are answering it as E, right? But that is not the correct answer, right? I tell you why, right? The difference between the two digits is 9, right? So if the difference of two digits is 9, then what are the possible digits? It can be 9 and 0 or 0, 9, right? So last time they have given that the number is greater than 9. That's why we haven't considered the 0, 9 as the option, isn't it? But in this case, they haven't given that 0, 9 cannot be the option, right? So here there are two possibilities. One is 9, 0 as well as 0, 9, right? If we come to the second one, then the sum of digits is equal to the difference of the digits, which means that one of the digits must be 9, sorry, 0, isn't it? So for example, sum of the digits, if it is 1 plus 0, it is 1. 1 minus 0 will be also 1. In case if it is 2 and 0, 2, 20, right? 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 minus 0 is also 2. If it is 6, 0, right? If we take 60 here, then also the sum of the digits and the difference of digits are different. So here also you cannot find the exact 1 2-digit number as per the given statement. That is why we are going. So even if you put together, you cannot have the common number, right? Yes. So the answer is option D. I hope you can understand this. See, difference of two numbers, that is different from one number minus another number, right? If it is simply the difference, that will give you the absolute value, right? So this question answer is option D. I hope you can understand this. Good. See, simply if it is difference, that means absolute value, right? For example, age difference of my father and my son is 50, which means that is absolute difference, right? In case if I change son and my father, then that is also same 50. I hope you can understand this. Good. Now answer this question. How much was the total sale of the company? The company sold 800 units of product A, each costing 25. Yes. Answer this. Good. Very good. Everyone have found the correct answer. Good. Some of you are answering not correct. Right. See, in this case, option E is the correct answer. Right. Which means that you need to have both the statements together. Right. Listen, all of you. The company sold 800 units of product A, each costing 25 rupees. Right. Each costing 25 rupees. So now you can find 25 into 8,000 units and you can find the exact correct answer, isn't it? But with this statement alone, we cannot say the company has some other product or not. Right. The company may have product B, C, D like that would have sold some other to some other customers that would have gained some other amount. Right. So here I do not know how many products are there in the company, but I know that in the product A, 8,000 units were sold and each cost 25 rupees. Right. So one alone is not sufficient. When you come to the next one, this company has no other product, right? So this company has no other product. But with this statement alone, we cannot answer the question. But if you put together both the statements, the company has the only product A, right? Each cost 25 rupees. It has sold 8,000 units. So to 8,000 into 25 will be the answer here, right? I hope you can understand this. Do you understand why E is the answer, not D the answer? Some of you are answering it as A also. Right. Remember, with A alone, you cannot definitely answer the question. Right. Okay. Is B the brother of A? Okay. So is B the brother of A? That's the question. Now, B is brother of A and A is brother of C. Right. Now I know that A is brother of C and C is sister of B. Right. So C is sister of B. Right. Now, do you know the gender of B here? No. Listen, all of you. In case if the question is A brother of B? Then you can go with option. Both the statements put together is correct. Right. Here, 1 alone is not sufficient because B is not there. Right. 2 alone is not sufficient because A is not there. Right. If you put together both the statements, now I know that A is brother of C. C is sister, so it is female gender. I know that. Right. Of B. But here B is brother. So here I do not know the gender of the person B. Now the answer is cannot be determined. Right. So here option D is the correct answer. I hope you can understand this. Some of you have answered it as E. No. E is not the correct answer. Good. You can answer to this question. A bucket was placed under a dripping tap, which was dripping at uniform rate. At what time was the bucket full? The bucket was put in place at 2 p.m. Right. So at what time was the bucket full? That is the question here. Right. So obviously 1 hour is not sufficient. In case if we put in the place at 2 p.m., I do not know how much time it will take exactly. Right. So with this statement, you cannot answer the question. When you go to second one, the bucket was half full at 6 p.m. and 3/4 full at 8 p.m. on the same day. Right. Is the statement sufficient to answer the question? See, half full at 6 p.m. and 3/4 full at 8 p.m., which means that in 2 hours, it would have taken 1/4 of the bucket. Am I correct or not? So already they have clearly given that it is uniform rate, right? It is dripping in the uniform rate. So if you compare with this question, then 1/4 of the bucket takes 2 hours. So to fill the whole, it will take 8 hours. But I do not know which time it was placed. Right. So with statement 2 alone, you cannot answer the question. Yes or no? Yes. But listen, in this case, actually you can find the answer. 1/4 of the bucket is filled in 2 hours. So at 8 o'clock itself, it is full of 3/4, right? Then in 1 other 2 hours, it will fill, isn't it? So in 10 p.m. you can actually this is sufficient to answer the question, right? Because 3/4 is full at 8 p.m. Then in 2 hours, in another 2 hours, it will fill whole bucket will be full, isn't it? So here the option must be B. Is that clear? In case if you want me to repeat this, I can repeat. You can post repeat, then I can repeat it again. I hope you can understand this. It's very simple concept. Yeah. See, at what time? Yeah, they have clearly mentioned it at what time the bucket was full. So here it is half full at 6 p.m., isn't it? Yes. So the bucket was full, half full at 6 p.m. and 3/4 full at 8 p.m., isn't it? So which means that the time difference is 2 hours. The quantity filled is 1/4 of the bucket, isn't it? So from this, if 1/4 of the bucket is full, then it will be full, the whole unit. Am I correct or not? Yes. So it will take another 2 hours to fill 1/4 of the remaining bucket. So exactly at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m., right, the bucket will be full. That's it. I hope you can understand this. Good. You can answer this. In a certain code, 13 means stop smoking. 59 means injurious habit. What is the meaning of 9 and 5 respectively in the code? Right. Okay, the statements are 157 means stop bad habit. 839 means smoking is injurious. Right. Now find answer to this. Good. Actually, okay, you answer this, then I explain. Okay, let's verify your answer. See, 13 means stop. Right. Then, so what 9 means and 5 means, that is what we need to find. So if you compare the statement with the given statement, right, here 1 is the common code and the corresponding common word is stop, right? If 1 is stop, then 3 will be smoking, right? Yes. So if you compare with the 5, 9, 5 is common code, common letter, number, and the corresponding common word is habit. So 5 means habit, right? If 5 means habit, then obviously 9 means injurious. Am I correct or not? Yes. So 5 means habit, 9 means injurious. So 1 alone is sufficient. Yes. So here, so this one is sufficient to answer the question. If you come to the second one, if you compare again, 3 means smoking, right? 3 is the common number and smoking is the common word. Then you can find smoking is for 3 and stop is for 1, right? If you compare this one, 9 means, right? So injuries is the common word in this two statements, right? In these two, and 9 is the common number. So here 9 and 9. Right. So 9 is common code and the corresponding word is injurious. So I can say 9 is injurious, then obviously 5 will be habit, isn't it? So with statement 2 alone also you can answer the question. Right. So 1 alone is also sufficient, 2 alone is also sufficient. So what will be the answer? C. Right. Actually, many of you have answered it as E. I hope you can understand this. See, again, I'm repeating this. You need not to find the exact code and word, right? The 9 is for smoking, 5 is for injurious. You need not to find these words and codes and all, right? Which of the statements is sufficient to answer the question? That's it. So here, option C is the answer here. Any doubts so far? Good. Next question. What day is the 14th of a given month? Right. What day is the 14th of a given month? Right. The last day of the month is Wednesday. The third Saturday of the month was 17th. Alone statement is sufficient. So which one? In previous one. See, I explain this again. Right. When you come to this one, right. If you have the statement one alone, if you compare, here 5 is there, here 5 is there. So common number, that is common code and a common word is there, isn't it? Yes. So if you have 5 and 9, right? Here injuries, here habit is the common word, isn't it? So here habit is the common word. The common code is 5. If 5 means habit, then 9 means injurious. That's it. That is why 1 alone is sufficient as well as 2 alone is sufficient. I hope you can understand this. Right. In case if you take the second statement, then you can see 9 is the common code. 9 is the common code. So common word here is injurious. So here you can find 9 is for injurious. Then 5 is for habit. That's it. Right. So either one of the statement is sufficient to answer the question. I hope you can understand this. Very good. Right. Okay. Now when you come to this one, the last day of the month is Wednesday. So here, actually every month will not have same number of days, isn't it? There will be possibilities of 31, 30, and 29 and 28 also possible in February months. If it is leap year February month, then it will have 29 days. If it is normal year February month, it will have 28 days. So I do not know which day it is, which month it is, isn't it? So here, one alone is not sufficient. When you come to this one, the third Saturday of the month was 17th, right? So which means that the 17th was Saturday, which means that then 16th will be Friday, 15th will be Thursday, then 14th will be Wednesday, isn't it? So you could have answered this question with the statement 2 alone, but not statement 1 alone. I hope you can understand this. Actually, many of you have answered already correctly, yeah. You can post yes or yes. Or if you want me to repeat, then you can post here repeat. That's it. Very good. Good. Then we go to next question. Yes. On which day in January Subhash left for Germany? Right. Subhash has so far spent 10 years in Germany. Right. No, this is not sufficient to answer the question. Okay, you try to find answer, then I explain this. Subhash friend Anil left for Germany on 15th February and joined Subhash 20 days after Subhash arrival. Okay, let's verify your answers. Right. So here the answer is option D. Right. Even if you put together both the statements, it will not be sufficient. Right. As I told you, the first one by seeing itself, we could have eliminated the answer option, isn't it? Subhash has so far spent 10 years. So from this, I cannot find space on which days in January Subhash left. Right. I do not know this. Right. When you come to this one, Subhash friend Anil left for Germany on 15th of February and joined Subhash 20 days after Subhash arrival. Right. So here also, it is not sufficient to answer the question, isn't it? Yes. So here, this will not be sufficient to answer the question. Right. So here, 1, 2. Right. Individually not sufficient to answer the question. If you put together both the statements, that will not have any data which is required to solve this problem. Right. So here I can go with option D. Very good. Hope you can understand this. Good. You can answer this question. In which direction is Sumit when he reached the final destination? Sumit starts walking north from his house and then he takes a right turn and Abhijit joins him there. Right. The second statement says Sumit's school is 1 kilometer away from his house and is in southwest direction from his house. Right. Shall we verify your answers? Actually, only two of you have answered. What about others? Okay. See, in which Sumi can reach the final destination. Right. Sumi starts walking north from his house and he takes a right turn and Abhijit joins him there. Right. So far, do we know this is the destination here? No. Abhijit joins there. After that, they are going in some other way, some other directions. Right. So here, one alone will not be sufficient to answer the question. Isn't it? Yes. Now we come to the second one. Sumit's school is 1 kilometer away from his house and is in southwest direction from his house. Right. Right. Now, do you know which is the destination here? No. Right. So here option D is the answer. I hope you can understand this. One alone is sufficient. Then two alone is not sufficient. Also not sufficient. Then the answer must be, even if you put together both the statements, it is not sufficient. Isn't it? In case if they have given that, finally they have reached their school. If it is one of the statement in the question, then I can find answer from the second one. Right. Right now, I do not know the destination of those persons. Right. So the person Smith, then I cannot say which is the direction from the starting. Right. So the answer must be option D. Is that clear? I hope you have understood this. Right. Now next question. Gaurav ranks 18th in a class. What is his rank from the last? There are 47 students in the class. That is the first statement. Jatin, who ranks 10th in the same class, ranks 13th from the last. That is the second statement. So you tell me which of the statements are sufficient to answer the question. See, already I would have told you this will be a difficult one if you are not good at whole concepts in detail. Yes or no? One person position from left and right and to our total. If you know any of these two, then you can find the answer. Isn't it? So they have given that the count from left, that is top. Only one have answered so far correctly. Two have answered correctly. Right. Actually, this is the problem. Right. You will understand one way of answering the question, but In case if you do not know the another way of answering the question, then you will obviously fail in this, right? That is why I told you data sufficiency is the difficult topic for students' perspective when they do not have detailed concept. See, I can explain this here. Gaurav ranks 18th in a class, which means that from the top, right? From the bottom, what is his rank? That is the question. So if you want to have count from the rank from bottom, then you should have known the total number of persons in the class, isn't it? So by seeing itself, you could have answered it as option A, because there are 47 students in the class. I know the position from the top, then position from the bottom can be easily identified, right? So the first one is sufficient, that is correct. But what about the second one? Now, Jatin, who ranks 10th from the same 10th in the same class, ranks 38th from the last. So now I know that Jatin is 10th from the top, 38th from the bottom. So what are the number of persons in the class? 10 plus 38 minus 1. Yes or no? So from this also I can identify there are 47 students in the class. Am I correct or not? Yesterday we would have discussed the same topic, right? So this is also sufficient to find the total number of person. Then answer must be either 1 or 2. Option C is the correct answer. Only 2 of you have answered so far correctly. Now 3. I hope you can understand. If you have doubt, you can ask me again. I will repeat. Okay, now answer this question. In what proportion would Raj, Karan, and Altaf distribute profit among them? What is the answer? Raj gets 2/5 of the profit. Karan and Altaf have made 75% of the total investment. What is the answer? Okay. Listen, how will the persons divide their profit? Right. That is first one based on the investment, second one duration of the investment. Right. These two factors will decide their profit, isn't it? You could have learned in partnership concepts. Now, Raj gets 2/5 of, right? Which means that Raj gets 2/5. Then 3/5 is shared by Karan and Altaf. Right, remaining 2 persons. But from this I cannot find how much is for Karan, how much is for Altaf. So here one alone is not sufficient to answer the question. Right. Then second, Karan and Altaf have made 75% of the total investment. Here also this is not sufficient to answer the question. Right. Sometimes Karan would have invested 50% of the total investment and Altaf would have invested 25%. Sometimes it is 40, this will be 35. If it is 30, this will be 45. So here, this will vary based on this, right? But you can have another possibility. What is the put together? If you put together both the statements, that is also not sufficient to answer the question. So what will be the answer to this question? Good. Right? Actually, to this question, many of you have not answered already. Hope you understand why D is the answer. Okay, next one. 5 people are sitting in a straight line, A, B, X, Y, and Z. Who is sitting at the right end of the line? That is what you need to identify. Right. The first statement. 2 people are sitting between X and Y. X is sitting at one of the ends of the line. Then Z sits to the immediate right of Y and B is on the immediate left of Y. Third one, A is sitting exactly in between X and Y. Right. See, usually they will give you only 2 statements, but this question have 3 statements. Right. That is why the options are different here, so that I have given you in the same slide itself. Okay. Now you try to find the answer here. I get different answers. What is the answer here? So here, 5 people are there, right? So you can fix 5 positions in the same straight line like this, right? What happened? Only very few of you have answered. Let's verify your answer, right? Who is sitting in the right end? Let's take the direction is towards north, right? So if they are facing this direction, then this side will be the right end and the opposite side will be the left end, right? So this will be right. This will be left. Okay. When you look at the first one, 2 people are sitting between X and Y, right? So I know that there are 2 persons are sitting between X and Y, right? So X, here 2 person, and here Y. The another possibility is X can be in the right this side, and Y can be in this place, isn't it? So this is what we get in the first statement. And X is sitting at any of the ones, any of the one end. So if it is here, then here it is here. So here, one alone is not sufficient to answer the question. I hope you can understand this. because we have two different possibilities, so we can have different answers. So one over is not sufficient. If we come to the second one, Z sit to the immediate right of Y, right? So if it is here, right, immediate right of Y. So this will be possible. If it is, this will be the possible, right? And B is on the immediate left of Y, right? So now B is on the immediate left of Y. So in this place here, in this place, this will be here. I hope you can understand this. Okay. So by seeing by seeing this, you cannot say which is the correct answer, isn't it? Yes. So 2 alone is also not sufficient to answer the question. Right. So 2 alone is also not sufficient to answer the question. If the third one, if you consider the third one, A is sitting exactly between X and B. Right. So A is sitting exactly between X and B. Right. So here A is sitting between exactly X and B. So this one is not correct order, isn't it? Yes. So from this, what do you understand? So now you could have identified so all the 3 answers are required, right? After telling the answers also, you are posting it as some other things. One of you are posting as C, another one is posting as E. Right. I explained here, right? Do you understand that? In case if you do not understand, you can ask me to repeat. I will repeat this. Okay. I repeat once again. Listen, all of you. Here, 5 friends are sitting in the straight line. Who is in the right corner? Right in. That is what we need to find. Right. I explain this once again. 2 people are sitting when you go to the when you have the first statement alone, then 2 people are sitting between X and Y. Then X is sitting at one of the ends. So there are 2 possibilities like this. So X, 2 people are sitting between X and Y. Here also 2 people are sitting between X and Y. Right. So here 2 possibilities will be there. Right. So 1 alone is not sufficient. Okay. So if you arrange in this manner, then B, Y, Z, B, Y, Z, that is the order here. Right. Now also you can have the answer, isn't it? Yes. So when you come to the third one, A is sitting exactly in between X and B. Right. So A is sitting exactly between X and B. Right. So if you come this one, if you come to the first arrangement, X, A, B. Yes. So A is the in between, A is in between X and B. So that is satisfied here. When you come to this one, X is here and B is here. No. So the second, this one is removed. Right. This arrangement is completely removed when you see the third one. So here you could have framed this, all the arrangements here once if you are having all the 3 statements, isn't it? That is why all 1, 2, 3 are sufficient to answer the question. So option D is the correct answer. I hope you can understand this. Good. Very good. Right. On which day of the week was birthday of Sahil? With this question, we can wind up the session. You try to find the answer to this. On which day of the week was birthday of Sahil? Sahil celebrated his birthday the very next day on which Arun celebrated his birthday. Right. So I do not know when Arun celebrated his birthday. Right. Yes. So from first one it is not sufficient. You could have identified this. Then the sister of Sahil was born on the third day of the week and 2 days after Sahil was born. Right. The sister of Sahil was born on the third day of the week and 2 days after Sahil was born. Right. From this you can identify the answer, right? What is the answer? See, if you eliminate the first option, obviously option C is also eliminated, isn't it? If you eliminate one answer, option C is also getting removed, right? So don't put option C as the answer, right? Only B, that is the correct answer. See, here how can you find the answer? See here, the sister of Sahil was born on third day of the week. So first day of the week is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So here, Sahil's sister was born on Tuesday, right? And 2 days after Sahil was born, right? So 2 days after Wednesday, you can easily find, Tuesday, you can easily find the answer, isn't it? Here, you need not to find exactly the day on which Sahil was born, right? You can identify the answer with only two, but not one. Right. So I will go with option B here. Hope you understand this. Very good. Right. Very good. Thank you all. Now you'll have this.
Yeah, thank you, Elimelech. So guys, I'm going to conduct a quiz now. So be ready. So I sent a link. Start your quiz. So all the best, everyone. So time up. Now you can't able to submit your answers. Okay. So I'm sharing the attendance link. Please mark your attendance. So meanwhile, I will share top 20 as well. Sorry, I will show. So mark your attendance, and meanwhile, any questions, please ask me in the chat box. I will try to address it. So Sai Divya, it's okay. So just practice on this topic. Maybe you are low in this topic. So pick up this one. Next time we have a many exams, no? So in that, just get it, okay? Creative thoughts. Maybe you need a more practice, it seems. Just practice on those topics which you are feeling low. So we'll get it, okay? Exam is also tomorrow, ma'am. Yeah, daily I'm conducting quiz because we have to complete all the topics before 16th, because 17th we have an exam, no, on all the topics, subject wise test in logical reasoning, no. So that's why daily I'm conducting quizzes, okay? Ma'am, state option రావట్లేదు. In which form? Yeah, actually, 50% of the people got 20 out of 20. So I'm very happy on that. So who submitted early? Those names I mentioned here. Remaining people, don't worry. Okay. So we will consider those names also. How to apply the form for Saturday's exam? So no need to apply anything. So just attend the session Saturday, like 10:30 to 1 p.m. No, we have a session. So 11:30, 1, I'm going to send a link. Okay. Through that link, you can attend the quiz. So any more questions? What is the last date to submit testimonial? Tomorrow is the last date. By tomorrow, end of the day, you have to submit all the testimonials. Okay. Webcam on cheyala, ma'am. So you can record in your mobile cameras and send in my WhatsApp. I already shared my WhatsApp number as well. So through that, you can share. So if you guys and don't have any queries, you can leave the session. Yes, Aditi, you can leave. In LMS, there is no assignment to test, ma'am. What should I do? Shaikh, you don't have option like you don't have option in assessment. So just drop an email to edl@xlr.com. My team will take it up. Ma'am, in module test, is there any pass marks, ma'am, that we need to achieve? So yes, based on the participation, like participation count and their marks, we will consider that. Is there any change in exam date? No, we already scheduled that. We are going to conduct a test on 17th. So it's finalized. Should we? Okay. Sri Harshini, ma'am, should we on camera while attending the test? No, it's not compulsory. Once again, you send WhatsApp number, ma'am. Yes, I'm sending. We can attend test in mobile. Yes, you can attend. Is this the first test, ma'am? Which one you are talking about, the Sheikh? So today test or else 17th date test? So I send my number in YouTube channel. Please take from there. If any queries regarding video testimonial, drop a message to me. I will help you on that. So testimonial in the sense, so it's a video testimonial. You are going to talking about skill up program, how it's going, where you got this skill up platform, that and all. It is a less than 1 minute video. So just drop in a message to me. I will explain about that. Okay. Saturday morning we have a college. So 1 hour please schedule for this test and you can attend. So whoever not like they can't able to see assessment, you just drop an email to edel@xlr.com. So my team will help you on that. So I'm mentioning the mail ID in the chat box. Please take from here. Exam time is 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. 1 hour, 50 marks exam. Okay, fine. If there is no more questions, means we'll wind up the session. Okay, we'll meet on tomorrow. Up to then, take care. Bye bye. Good night. Go and have your food. Yeah, bye bye.